Good evening. Welcome to Something to Talk About. Tonight, of course, we're at King's Restaurant in Tamuning. We have got a guest that not very many people have met. I've never met him before, but we sound like we're going to be working together for a while. He's the newly appointed Chief of the Guam Police Department, Joseph Cruz. They call him J.I. Cruz. He's going to be in. We're going to talk about the future of the Guam Police Department and where has he been all of these years. That's what we're going to do here on Something to Talk About. Welcome back. Thanks a lot again for joining us. And here we are at King's with our bowl of fruit. Sir,
yes.
Help yourself. And then we've got the chesa platter for you.
Absolutely.
Because
Thank
it looks like you're hungry. You don't look like you've been getting much food. What a whirlwind. We're here with, they call you J.I.? Is that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Is that
okay to call you J.I.?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Very informal. I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all.
What an appointment the governor made. That was quite the speech that he made when he announced that his selection for new GPD chief was going to be you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. He's known you for a while, the family. Who doesn't know the Cruz family, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My brothers and I, my sister, we've come from different cross sections of the community. So, a lot of people know us. A lot of people, my older brothers know the governor because of going to school together. Mm-hmm. So, he's well aware of my family, and as many people are. Yeah.
And I had asked in the beginning of the show, where have you been, was the question. I said, is this a guy who came out of the woodwork? Mm-hmm. No, not necessarily. But where have you been?
Well, for the last 12 years, I've been on active duty with the Guam Army National Guard. So I left the Guam Police Department in 2003 and went back on active duty. I got a commission from the Guard and decided to join the Active Guard Reserve Program, commonly known as the AGR program. Mm-hmm. So I transitioned from the Guam Police Department to the Guam Army National Guard and served on active duty in a full-time capacity over there. Wow. So that's where I've been since 2003.
And then you were on deployment as well. How many tours did you do?
I did 3 tours.
Wow.
I did 2 tours to the Horn of Africa, one as a platoon leader, working in the Horn of Africa. I went back again as a company commander, in command of a company, back to the Horn of Africa. And then our most recent deployment, where we deployed about 588 of Guam soldiers to Afghanistan for a 9-month deployment in Afghanistan.
Yeah, and you were with that group?
Yes, I was the executive officer for the battalion.
Okay.
Yes.
And so your job's not done then?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You're coming back for more.
Coming back to it's continuing to serve the island.
Did you retire from the Guard?
I did. I did.
And so you got the call from the governor and said, hey, why don't we come back to the Guam Police Department? Does it feel like it's a whole nother career all over again?
It's a different department, I will admit. But I've kept in contact with my brothers and sisters in the department over the years. So I try not to get away from them too far. There's some familial ties to police officers. One of my daughter's godfather is still in the police department, so I still maintain contact, talk to them, and see how my brothers and sisters over there are doing. So, it's not like I completely detached myself from the Guam Police Department. And, there was a lot to be gotten when I was there in my 10-year tenure, when I starting as a police recruit, working my way up to police officer 3. Mm-hmm. Whether it be out on patrol, serving with a SWAT unit, going back out on patrol, an internal affairs investigator. There was some ties that I think are lifelong ties that even if I never came back in the capacity of the chief, that will still remain there because a lot of them are my friends and relatives. Yeah,
but a lot has changed, do you think, since the time you were last active?
I think that the department has evolved. It's moved forward. It's different from things are done a little bit differently, and I think it's just the natural evolvement of the department, of any agency, of any government agencies. It's not the same police department as it was in 2003.
Is that a good thing?
I think it is a good thing. I think the department has made steps forward to be a better department. So I commend the officers in the department, uniform and civilian, men and women who have taking that department and taking it to that next level. So it is a different department. I would say.
As much as things have progressed, a lot of the same budgetary issues
Yes.
have not changed
Absolutely.
much.
Yes.
And so you're kind of walking in, to a forward-thinking police department, but a backward sort of budget. It feels like.
Well, like any other agency, Patty, we're working and living in a fiscally constrained environment. I think that's across the board. I would say, and that's probably a fair assessment of every government agency. So we have our constraints. We do have our challenges, but I think with the leadership that's there, with the managers and leaders that's in place, that we can deal with whatever constraints that we're faced, and be able to continue to take the department in that forward direction.
Yeah. Are there any things that you could be changed to save the department money, or you think that you're tapped out there?
No, I think that well, up front, I will tell you that being new to the job as a chief of police, I'm still doing an assessment across the board. I think that's vital. I think that's absolutely critical for me as the incoming chief to stop and take and do an assessment of where we're at. And as I make that assessment, I'm talking to police officers who I've never met before, talking to some officers who have moved up, because some of these officers were police officer 3 when I left. They're now lieutenants. So they serve in different capacities. Everybody's matured in a certain way. So part of my assessment of the atmosphere and the culture that exists in the department is to re-engage with some of these officers and figure out where they're at and how they're serving, in what capacity, and figure out if there are any issues and what the issues are, so that we can formulate a plan to continue to take the department forward, even in a fiscally constrained environment. I think it's challenging. It's going to require some thinking outside of the box, maybe, but the bottom line is we need to serve and protect the people. It's about protecting our island, and regardless of what we're constrained with, we're going to work with what we have, and we're going to continue to move forward.
Yeah, the problem with that, though, not that there's a problem with it, but the problem here is that the Guam Police Department is literally front and center, because there are so many issues that we've never had to deal with before on the island. I'm sure you recognize there are cultural issues that we're dealing with now, increased crime, more desperate people, more people on the poverty rolls.
Absolutely.
And I think we also have race issues that they probably didn't have, or did they? Was that an issue when you were last here?
I think that maybe the issue has kind of changed. It's kind of evolved. Maybe we're dealing with. I think that there is those issues still exist, but it requires us to really apply ourselves. Really think about what the issues are that we're facing and figure out how we're going to do that. And working with our stakeholders, the different members throughout the community, both in the government of Guam, in the private sector, in the federal government, to help us. So that it's a collaborative effort to address these issues, so that we continue to be able to accomplish our mission of serving and protecting the people. It's not something we're going to do all by ourselves. This is a collaborative effort across the board, with everybody involved. All slices of the community will, it's our intent to all work together to figure this out.
And then we also have other issues. There are missing pieces of the word I want to use escapes me at the minute, but there are some missing pieces that lend to how the police department is viewed by the public. I know that there are a lot of issues that are happening in the mainland that are not issues that are happening in Guam. At least we don't know about it. But there's a lot of allegations of police brutality. You've seen the protests that are taking place in these places.
Absolutely.
Guam doesn't. We don't have a police review commission. We have one created, but we haven't stood up that commission in a while. I think they don't even have any members anymore. And do you think that the public's perception of the police department could be altered if there isn't a sort of, oversight, a regular oversight commission?
I think it could be, but at the same time, I think that we have our own inherent responsibility to be able to police our ranks. And it's kind of been that way in the past. Am I saying that we don't need a police review commission? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we need to take a look at this and see if really that's the way forward that we want to take this. Based on what I'm hearing from people throughout different parts of the community, as well as in the department, yes, we're faced with some issues. There are some challenges, but I don't think that their confidence in the police department has been affected to that point where we really need to, implement a police review commission to conduct oversight on what we're doing. One of the things I'm a big advocate of is being able to clean our own house. So the chief of police has to his disposal, the internal affairs section of the police department. I have the Attorney General's office to confer with as well, of which we do have an attorney from the Attorney General's office helping us at the Guam Police Department. So there are assets available to us to be able to police ourselves. But I think that this requires me, as part of that assessment process, to take a look at this and see which is the best course of which course of action is the best one to take as we move forward with regards to what you're mentioning.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, I want to ask how much of your military influence is going to be incorporated into your leadership at the police department. And then there's a lot of newfangled equipment and technology out there, and whether or not we can afford that newfangled stuff at the Guam Police Department. Our guest tonight, the new police chief, J.I. Cruz. We'll take a break here. And welcome back, Chief J.I. Cruz in the table with us here at King's Restaurant in Tamuning. You like that, Jason?
Yes,
that's pretty good,
it's
huh?
Very good.
Actually, the Tanola Chutney is really good. We have to order that every time we come here because it comes with the cheeses and the Chamorro mozzarella sticks.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
But anyway, I asked you before the break about how much of your military leadership is going to be incorporated into the running of the police department.
Well, I would tell you that one of the things that I bring to the table, I bring to the Guam Police Department, which is something that the current administration has taken a look at, is my strong sense of leadership. Although I'm relatively young as compared to some of the other directors, my tenure in the military, in the Guam Army National Guard, has set me up for success, because it's allowed me to experience and learn and understand leadership at that executive level. So I will tell you, although the Guam Police Department is a paramilitary organization, we wear a uniform, we carry, our sidearms and so on and so forth. Leadership, I think, transcends a lot of the professions you see out there. I mean, leadership is across the board, whether it's in the private sector, in the military, in the Guam Police Department. The leadership philosophies that I have learned over the years through the Army National Guard, obviously they're ingrained in me. But there's a way to use those same type of philosophies and adjust it to the situation I'm in. So whether I'm walking into the Guam Police Department, or I'm walking into a private business or a corporate business, I think leadership across the board transcends the particular profession, and it's about just leading the people. Of course, there are intricacies to the profession specifically that you need to be in tune with, that would help you in your ability to lead. But I will tell you, I will take some of that with me, because I think some of that, regardless of where you go, it's leadership is leadership. So I'll take that with me. But all of that is adjusted to fit the needs of the department, and then the needs of the community as well. You have, I think, both a challenge and an opportunity. When you were at the police department the last time, we didn't have the same kind of advances in technology. Everybody
is a cop now.
Yes.
Everybody has their ears out. They've got their phone cameras. The cameras that have the ability to record things.
Sure.
And everyone, their security cameras, everywhere as well.
Yes.
Does that technology help or hinder the investigations into crimes? And will you rely a lot on the public sensibilities for that?
That's a very interesting question, Patty. And I'll preface that by saying that one of the endeavors I've embarked on is back in 2003. I started a PhD program with Walden University, the program's in public policy and administration with a specialization in criminal justice. And one of the classes I took dealt with 21st century crime and criminology. And that same exact issue that you bring up was something that was brought up in the course, in that in the modern day of computer technology and all the advances, the small technology,
Yeah.
computer systems are now in their phones, and like you said, every person's a police officer or a cop. Those are challenges that we need to stay in tune with. It is my intention that the Guam Police Department will be very much a part of that 21st century technology, that 21st century crime that we're dealing with, because a lot of the crimes that are committed these days are using that technology. Yeah. So we need to stay in tune with that, and we need to advance with the time, advance with the technology, so that we are able to investigate the crimes accordingly.
You also have a lot more people who are watching and witnessing the police work.
Yes.
Pretty much it's a job review. If you have a number of people at a scene or there when police arrive,
absolutely,
that technology also works against them in that I've seen videos of people on the bystanders taunting police,
sure,
and that sort of thing, and
sure,
that can be a potentially confrontational situation.
It can be. So it's a double-edged sword, if you will. We can use it to our advantage. We definitely have to get in tune with it. It is not an option for the Guam Police Department to not be in tune with the times. We have to move forward. We have to understand what this technology is as we move forward. But you're absolutely.
I was just going to ask you while we were on that thought. Keeping in tune with the technology, I'm reminded of the couple of controversial photos that were taken by arresting police officers of their suspects in custody. When you first saw that, what went through your mind when you first saw those photos posted on social media? Well,
just like I'm sure that everybody else is out there, the perception was, people are taking selfies and they're broadcasting it out, not knowing exactly what was going on. And again, I don't know the details of the case. I still need to get spun up on that. But yes, the perception right off the bat is police officers are using that technology, and they're not working, in accordance with our general orders. So issues like that, do arise. So I mentioned that double-edged sword. Obviously, that gives the public a perception that we're not conducting business accordingly, the way we're supposed to be conducting business. So it's important for us in the department to make sure that we take those steps to make sure that we're in accordance with the rules and regulations, the laws that are here, all the laws applicable, that we're keeping in line with that. And
so, having said that,
yes,
of course, the safety precautions. I think that when that suicide happened at the Agana precinct last month, I think a lot of people got riled at the possibility that, well, certainly it could have gone a whole nother way.
Sure.
You're in the middle now. You're coming into the middle of this because former and retired Chief Burdea was in the process of, looking at the possibility of surveillance cameras and anything else, the other kind of technology to protect the officers and those who do business with the police department.
Right.
In Agana. What were your thoughts when you saw that? Did it feel like a whole new world?
Well, one of the issues, again, we have to look at is our policies and procedures. And again, it goes back, I go back to me being able to do that assessment across the board with the assistance of my staff going out there, doing the assessment, figuring out where exactly we're at, taking a look at those particular issues. I wouldn't say that it's a whole new world out there. We just need to go back and make sure that we are in accordance with did we follow procedure? Did we follow protocol? Did we do everything we were supposed to do? And again, you know, that case, I believe, is still under investigation.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't speak to the specifics of the case, but I'm sure that as we do this assessment, we're going to be looking at all those things.
Yeah, but the surveillance cameras would have helped. The security cameras in the office certainly could have helped.
Yes, they could have.
So
right.
Having said that, I wanted to ask you the questions about body cameras and camera capabilities, dashboard cameras in police units.
Well, that's something that you see nationwide. A lot of almost every jurisdiction stateside uses police cameras, so that as soon as a police officer activates his top lights to effectuate a pullover, the camera automatically kicks in.
How about body cams?
I think body cams could serve its purpose, but again, I'd have to go back and take a look at that. You know, I really need to sit down with my staff and take a look at that and see what are some of the advantages and disadvantages. So I think we need to look at both sides of the coin on that issue, and based on that, you know, make a decision whether, you know, we want to employ that. But again, the intent of that is to you know, assist the police officer, to help the police. It's a tool that's out there, a law enforcement tool that's out there, as you see in many jurisdictions, you know, with the cameras in the vehicles. Again, I don't know enough about the body cameras right now. That's something we're definitely going to take a look at, because it has been brought to my attention that this may be an option for us.
Yeah.
So we need to consider that.
Are you excited now? I mean, you're
absolutely. I really
starting
am.
a whole nother
I really am.
career, it sounds like. Yeah?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
At your age, too. I'm kidding.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
I mean, you're starting a whole other career. You've already retired a stellar military career, and now this.
Yes, I'm very excited. Yeah. I'll be quite honest. I said during my remarks when the governor appointed me that I was, you know, I was kind of at a loss for words, and I mean, oh my goodness, what am I? But you know, I was excited. I was nervous, but you know, as I'm you know, getting comfortable in where I'm at in my role as the chief, the excitement is building. I mean, it really is.
Do you think you'll get the same support through the legislature? You can be okay with that?
I'm confident that I will. I really am. I'm confident that I will.
Well, you know, we've worked very well with the Guam Police Department in part because of AJ Balahaja's done some great work.
Absolutely.
Reaching out to us all the time and keeping and that has changed too. The relationship with the media, I think, has improved so much with him there. So keep him there. He will be there. It's nice to meet you. Thanks. I guess we'll see you more on camera, because you'll be on camera.
Yes, ma'am.
I know. He's got a face for camera. Not bad at all. Thank you so much for joining us. That's all for Something to Talk About. Good night.
Thank you.